Here we go with chapter 42. Is dem ferre temporibus? So ferre is the same as firme, the adverb, in almost the same time, or during the same time, I want to say, in the same time almost, in Gallia, in Gaul, Citeria, it's hither, and ulterior, further, in interior and further Gaul, item, likewise the same thing, in other words, in agro, in the land or district of Piceno, Brutio, and Apulia, there was motus, there was a disturbance of motion. Namque, for illi, plural those people, quas, now they're in the accusative, who, Catilinae, is now the nominative, he has demiseret, he has sent them out ante, before. In consulte, this is an adverb, without planning, and valute, and as if through dementia, which is a madness, they were agamenting or stirring up everything, similar at the same time. Cuncta is the everything. They were doing everything without a plan and as if through madness. Nocturnus consulis, this is an ablative, so it's by, with, or from, in their nightly plans or by the nightly plans, and portations, it's carrying things, carrying of arms and telorums and of weapons. We have gerund, festinando, agitando, by their hurrying or hastening, and agitando, by their doing of these things in the night planning and the carrying of arms and weapons. Omnia plus timor quam periculi efferent. So they were efferring, they were bringing about more timoris, more of fear, quam, than of periculi, than of danger. So they might be doing all this stuff in a hurry and doing it, but it seems to be more scare tactic than doing anything that's really going to harm them, the good guys. Ex eo numero, from that number, compluris, very many. What have we got here? Nominative. Q Metellus Keller, the praetor, by senatus consulto, by a decree, split with the genitive of the senate, that's a fourth declension. Causa cognita, for the sake of a cognition or getting to know or some inquiry. In vincula conjecurate, he had thrown very many of this from the number in vincula, in chains. Item, we have up there, it means likewise, or the same sort of thing going on. In Citoria Gallia, which was hither Gaul, see Murena as the nominative, Gaius Murena, who, ei, provincia legatus praerat. So praerat means he was in charge, taking the dative to that. So Murena is a legatus, so he's a delegate or a deputy who is in charge of this province. Where are we? Okay. At Roma, or but at Rome, Lentulus, with Caterus, with the rest of these, who were princeps, leaders, errant of the conspiracy of the Coniurationes, he had prepared paratus, as it seemed, ut videtur, constituent, he had established or built up, it's prepared a magnus copius, great forces, utai, so that, cum Catilina, when Catiline, in agram aphalium, this is an alternate spelling, there's another one where it reads feasulum. So when you come into this apposition here, this into these lands, cum exercitu, with his fourth declension army, and venisset means he had come into it, come for this cum, which takes the subjunctive. El bestius, the tribunus plebis, so bestia, the tribune of the plebs, contione habita, had an assembly, a contione, and he was querenting, he was complaining, day, concerning the actionibus, these actions of the genitive Cicero, of Cicero, and belliqui gravissimo invidiam optumo consuli imponet. So it imponet, it had placed on the optumo, this great consul, the invidia, something like a hatred of this most serious war, the heavy war. Eo signo, by a given signal, proxima nocte, in the proxime night, and in the next night or the coming night, the cetera multitudine, the rest of the multitude of the conspiracy, quisque, each one would do suam negotium, his own business, executor, he would follow it out. So it was planned, and at a given signal, the next night the rest of this multitude, the conspirators, each one would do his own business. Sed ea divisa hoc modo dicabantur. So it was said in hoc modo, in this way, these tasks or negotium were divided. So, Statius and Galbinus, utai, we'll just say this, so that cum magnu menu, with a great band of men, simul at the same time in opportuna loca duodecim, in 12 opportune places, or as they call it, strategic places, they would incinerant the urbis. They would set fire to the city. Quo, with a comparative, equals ut, so that in the tumult, in the confusion, might easier, editus, have an easy approach or way to the consul, Caterosque, and the rest of those, quibus, in which they had paratored insidia, they prepared their treacheries or their plans to ambush them, fear it, so it could happen. This here is just a little clause in the middle. Cathegus Ciceronus Januum obstirat. So Cathegus was to obstirat, he was to block the Januum, the door of Cicero, and eum, and him to aggreditor vi, to attack him with force, ablative. Others, however, autem, however or moreover, others were to do this to alim, to others. But the Phili, the sons of families, quorum of which the maxima parts erat, the greatest part of were ex nobilite, from the nobles, the aristocrats, they were to interficerant, to kill, taking the dative, they were going to kill parents of the sons of these great noble families. Simul, the same time, Cade, with the slaughter and incendio in the fires, perculsus omnibus, had struck or affected everyone, they were to erumper it, they were to burst out, break out, ad Catiline, going to Catiline. Inter haec parata, amongst these things prepared, at qui decreta and decreed, Cathegus, he's the nominative, he was always querubanting, complaining about the ignavia, this cowardice or slothfulness, soccorum of his allies. Illos dubitando, those people in their hesitation or dubiousness, and in prolatando, another gerund, by prolanding the dies, by prolonging the day or stretching the day, they were corrumperating. They were corrupting their magnus opportunities, their great opportunities to do the action. Facto non consulto, so it looks like actions, not plans, opusses, are needed, sequi, to be followed, in tali pericula. In such danger, you needed to have deeds, not talk, not plans. If porci, if a few people would adjuverant, would help, to those others languenting, going slowly, he would facturum, at stop a future, he would make an impetum, an attack, in the curia, into the Senate house. Natura ferox, so by nature he was ferox, he was fierce or wild, he was vehement, he menu promptus erat, with his hand he was ready to go, promptus. Putabat, he was thinking that the maximum bonum, that the highest good in this situation, was in celeritate, was in speed. 44. Said Allobroges, but the Allobroges, from the Praeceptos, from the instruction Ciceronus of Cicero, per gabinum Ceteros convenient. So they conveniented, they approached together the Ceteros, the rest of these conspirators, per gabinus, through this guy here, as it says, an intermediary. Ab Lentulo, from Lentulo and Cathegus, and Statio, item, and likewise Cassio, such from all these guys, they demanded a usurandum, that an oath be sworn, quod, which its signature, which sealed, they would perferent, they would bear to their civis, to their fellow countrymen, their same citizenry. Alata, Hord facile. So not easily would it aliter be otherwise done or differently done eos to those. Could they able, posse, be able to be impelled, ad tantum negotium, to such business, to such troubles or danger. Not differently could it be done easily. Ceterai, the rest, dant, they gave their jus juranum, their oath, nihil suspicientes. This is a present participle. They were suspecting nihil, nothing. Cassius Samet himself, policiantor, he was the deponent, he promised that venturum, its future, he would come there, brevi, in a short period of time, eo, to there. And Apollo anti-legatus, and a little before the legates, he profiscator, he set out or left ex urbe, from the city before the legates. Bit for the day, we'll have a daily dictionary. The etymology of eo, this is from the third etymology. Here, in that place, can also mean therefore, to this place, thither. So you see a lot of times it regards to a place. Dative of time can be until, it's like adio with datives. The other forms of eo are first person, and to go, it's used as a irregular conjunction, to go as well. So that's what this eo here was doing, and that's it for the day.